Good morning, guys. Welcome to Storytime. Our book today is dealing with something that everybody knows about, bears. And our book is called More Bears by Ken Nesbitt. Once upon a time, there was a story. The story was a lovely story without any pesky bears anywhere. Not a single bear anywhere. Then one day... What? Who said that?
More bears!
Who said that? The author of the story looked around the room, wondering where those voices had come from. Were those voices of children shouting? Then he went back to writing. As I was saying, the story had absolutely no pesky bears at all. The author was very certain about this.
More bears!
The author tried very hard to ignore the children who thought the story ought to have
more bears!
Fine. The story has a bear. It was a cute little baby bear strolling through the book looking for
more bears!
Now hold on a second. The author of the story knew exactly how many bears it should have. And the author insisted there should only be
more bears!
2 bears. There. Happy now? An adorable, cuddly, wuddly little bear named Mr. Fluffy, and his mama bear, Stella, who always wore this yellow hat. Now it happened that Stella and Mr. Fluffy, like all bears, were especially fond of
more bears!
More bears, of course. The author was just thinking about that. The author was thinking that just perhaps to keep everybody happy, the story should have a papa bear, whose name, by the way, was Captain Picklehead, and a bear named Uncle Sheldon, who was bald and loved to play the ukulele. Now, where were we? Oh, yes.
More bears!
Stop that! How many bears do you want to have in this story anyway? Do you really want to hear about Bobcat Sam or Admiral Haversham or Excellent Steve? You do? Wow. Why didn't you say so? In that case, the author suddenly decided that what this story needed was
more bears!
Yes, more bears. So the author added Astro Bear and Lester and Chester and Esther and Floyd. Oh, after all, the story really needed
more bears!
It needed a bear named Lucky Eddie who juggled carrots, and a bear named Elbow who wasn't very smart because he wore his underwear outside of his regular pants, and a bear named 1, 2, 3, which even the author thought it was a strange name for a bear. And since this probably wasn't enough, the author added even more
bears! More bears!
The author added 6 bears on pink bicycles, 2 bears reading comic books, 1 bear flying across the page in a cape, 3 more bears swinging through trees, a bear in a yellow submarine, several bears making cupcakes, an entire team of firefighting bears running across the pages with hoses, ladders, and party balloons. There were bears hanging from the top of the page, bears sleeping in the corners, and bears standing on top of other bears. There were so many bears in the story, they couldn't all fit on the page. It was crowded. Too crowded. So crowded that some bears started pushing other bears off the page and arguing, which made the author grumpy. And when authors get grumpy, they change things. And he did. After all, he told the bears to leave. They walked off the page. They rode off the page. They swung, surfed, danced, climbed, ran, and even somersaulted off the page. At last, all the bears were gone, and the author smiled. Finally, the author had a story with no bears in it at all. A lovely story with not a single bear. Just the way the author wanted it. But because you see, the author was quite certain that this story should have absolutely more chickens. The end. Thanks for joining us at Storytime today. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to check out Morgan on Thursdays and our YouTube page for our other videos and announcements. Bye-bye.